They look like ordinary pocket change, but hiding in these Jefferson nickels are secrets worth thousands. Discover the 5 rare Jefferson nickels that turned everyday coins into legendary treasures and uncover the untold history that collectors would kill to know. This is about the legacy of Jefferson, his vision, and how a simple 5-cent piece could turn an ordinary day into an extraordinary treasure hunt. Now we begin the journey of the Jefferson nickel. The year is 2001, a time when America stands on the brink of change. The country is stepping into a new millennium, yet the face of Thomas Jefferson remains steady on the 5-cent piece, a symbol of continuity, tradition, and pride. But to understand the true value of the 2001 Jefferson nickel, we must travel back to the roots of this iconic coin picture. The year is 1938. The United States Mint wanted to replace the Buffalo nickel, which had graced the pockets of Americans for 25 years. The Treasury announced a design competition, and artists from all over the country submitted their vision for the new nickel. Felix Schlag, a German-born American sculptor, rose to prominence when his depiction of Thomas Jefferson's profile and his beloved home Monticello was selected. The coin was first struck in 1938 and has seen America through war, peace, prosperity, and crisis. Year after year, the Jefferson nickel remained mostly unchanged, but every so often a slight shift. A new mint mark, a rare error, would transform an ordinary coin into a numismatic legend. Now fast forward to 2001. The world of coins is changing. Technology has advanced. The mint is modernizing. But the Jefferson nickel continues its run. Collectors keep a watchful eye on every bag, every roll of nickels struck by the Philadelphia and Denver mints that year. The 2001 P. Jefferson nickel struck in Philadelphia shows a mintage of over 700 million coins, while the 2001 D from Denver produced even more. Yet within this massive ocean of coins, a few stand out because they carry subtle errors over polished dies, double strikes off-center misalignments, clipped planchets. These rare mishaps can dramatically increase the value of an otherwise common coin picture. A 2001 Jefferson nickel with a double die on Jefferson's eye, or a weak strike that leaves parts of Monticello barely visible. These errors escape the mint's watchful eyes and find their way into circulation, waiting for the sharp gaze of a lucky collector. The obverse shows Jefferson's stoic profile, facing left the word liberty, in his own handwriting, a subtle yet powerful reminder of his legacy. The date 2001 anchors it in time, while the reverse features Monticello, his beloved Virginia estate, with the words A pluribus unum, 5 cents and United States of America, surrounding it, simple yet powerful. In 2001, no major design changes occurred, but the world of coin collecting was buzzing with anticipation for the upcoming Westward Journey series that would begin in 2004. Until then, the 2001 Jefferson nickel served as one of the final years of the classic design era, making these coins the last guardians of an era soon to change for collectors. Condition is everything. A circulated 2001 nickel may only be worth its face value, but find one in mint state MS65 or higher, and you are holding something special in your hand. Now, let's dive deeper into the grading system. The Sheldon scale ranges from poor 1 to perfect. Mint state 70 coins graded MS65, MS66, MS67 fetch a premium because they show sharp strikes, lustrous surfaces, and no contact marks. Imagine a roll of 2001 nickels uncirculated, untouched by human hands, sitting in a bank vault for decades. These are the coins collectors dream about? Then there are proofs. The special coins struck at the San Francisco Mint, polished, dies, double strikes, perfect details, although there were no proofs struck for circulation in 2001. Any coin that shows proof-like qualities is a gem to behold. But the true thrill comes from the hunt collectors, scour coin rolls, bags, estate sales, hoping to find that one misstrike that slipped through the cracks, a 2001 Jefferson nickel with an off. Center strike could sell for hundreds, depending on the severity. A double die reverse, where the columns of Monticello appear doubled, could turn a 5-cent coin into a story worth telling. For generations, some collectors specialize in full steps. The term full steps refers to the crispness of the steps on Monticello. If all 5 or 6 steps are visible with no marks, it indicates a strong strike and can elevate the coin's value dramatically. PCGS and NGC, two of the top grading. Services often certify these coins and add pedigree to the find, while many people spend these coins daily unaware. The savvy collector knows that history hides in plain sight. This is what makes the Jefferson nickel special. It is the democratization of coin collecting. Anyone with patience, knowledge, and a good eye can uncover a hidden gem in their pocket. Change the story of the 2001 Jefferson nickel does not end with the coin itself. It is about the people who collect them, the young numismatist who finds a rare error, the seasoned dealer who trades a roll for thousands, the family who inherits a hoard of uncirculated coins. Each nickel holds a story, and every scratch, ding, and mark is a chapter in that story. The metal composition is 75% copper, 25% nickel. No silver, no gold yet. The value lies not in the metal, but in the history. Each coin passed through hands, bought candy, paid tolls, dropped in vending machines, maybe even crossed the ocean in a serviceman's pocket, each one a witness to daily life in America. 20-plus years have passed since the 2001 Jefferson nickel was minted, yet the search continues with new collectors entering the hobby every year and technology making it easier to buy, sell, and grade coins. Communities on forums like Coin Talk or the Collector's Universe share finds, tips, and images. Every rare error found becomes a legend shared from one collector to another. So as you listen to this story, remember the Jefferson nickel is more than just currency. It is a living artifact, a testament to Jefferson's legacy and the American spirit. So the next time you get a handful of change, take a moment, flip that nickel over, look for the steps, study Jefferson's eye, the mint mark, the date. You may just hold a treasure in your palm. And when you do remember, you are not just collecting coins, you are preserving history and becoming part of a community bound by curiosity, passion, and the thrill of discovery. So stay tuned as we explore each aspect of the 2001 Jefferson nickel in even more depth. From mint records to error types to auction results and famous finds, we will break it all down, so you too can become a master of the hunt and perhaps find your own rare nickel that could change your life forever. Keep watching, keep learning, and keep searching, because every nickel tells a story, and your story might be the next great chapter in American numismatic history. The story of the Jefferson nickel is more than just metal. It is a reflection of American history, innovation, and the spirit of change. It all began in 1938 when the United States Mint decided to replace the Buffalo nickel with a new design that would honor the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, the man who drafted the Declaration of Independence and whose legacy is etched deeply into the fabric of American democracy. Felix Schlag, a German-American sculptor, won the design competition, and his rendering of Jefferson's portrait and Monticello, his Virginia home, became iconic symbols that would adorn the 5-cent coin for decades to come. Over the years, the Jefferson nickel has witnessed countless changes in minting technology, metal composition, and design refinements during World War II. A significant change occurred when nickel became a strategic metal needed for the war effort. From 1942 to 1945, the mint produced what collectors call wartime nickels. These coins contain 35% silver to replace the nickel that was needed for military manufacturing. These wartime nickels are easily identifiable by the large mint mark above Monticello on the reverse, a unique feature that makes them highly sought after by collectors. The transition back to the standard nickel-copper alloy in 1946 marked the end of an era. But the Jefferson nickel continued to evolve in 2004 and 2005. The United States Mint launched the Westward Journey Nickel Series to commemorate the bicentennials of the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition. These nickels featured temporary new designs, such as the Peace Medal, the Keelboat, the American Bison, and the Ocean. In view, these special editions reignited public interest in the nickel series, leading to new generations of collectors starting their own hoards. When 2006 arrived, the portrait of Jefferson underwent a significant redesign. The obverse featured a forward-facing image of Jefferson based on a Rembrandt Peale portrait, giving the coin a fresh contemporary look. The reverse returned to the classic Monticello design, tying the modern coin to its historic roots. As collectors know, condition, rarity, mint mark, and errors all play crucial roles in the value of any coin, and the Jefferson nickel is no exception. Over the decades, certain dates have become legends among numismatists. The 1950 Jefferson nickel is one of the key dates, with a low mintage of just 2.6 million coins, making it a prize for any serious collection. Varieties and errors, like the double die obverse on the 1943 P or the misplaced mint marks from earlier years, add layers of mystery and value to the series. The 2021 Jefferson nickel stands out in recent years for multiple reasons. While it may seem like just another modern coin, its low production numbers due to the pandemic era, minting challenges have made certain mint marks and high-grade examples highly desirable. The Denver Mint struck millions of these nickels, but finding one in pristine mint state 67 or higher can be a true challenge. Collectors pay close attention to the full steps designation, a grading standard that measures the sharpness of the steps on Monticello on the reverse side. A coin with full steps indicates a perfect strike and can command premiums many times the face value. Imagine holding a simple 5-cent piece that could sell for hundreds or even thousands, depending on its condition. Errors on the 2021 nickels also intrigue collectors. Reports of die clashes, off-center strikes, and weak strikes make searching rolls of nickels an exciting treasure hunt. The hunt for these coins takes collectors to banks, coin shows, and online auctions, where bidding wars can erupt over the finest examples beyond the physical coin. The Jefferson nickel connects people to American history. Think of how many hands a nickel passes through. The small piece of metal becomes a time capsule, carrying the legacy of a president, an artist, and the moments in history that demanded changes to its very composition. To tell this story fully, you must dive into the processes of the United States Mint, the design competitions, the striking presses, the quality control measures that ensure billions of coins are made. Yet only a few emerge with those coveted perfect grades. Meet the community of nickel hunters who gather at conventions, who pore over bags of change, who search for the elusive wartime silver nickels in pocket change still today. Learn about the grading companies who examine these coins under microscopes, the auctions where record prices make headlines, and the stories of people who stumbled upon nickels worth fortunes in their pocket. Change. The story of the Jefferson nickel is not just about metal, but about people, about the collectors who dedicate lifetimes to studying these tiny discs, about the historians who connect each minting change to a chapter in American history, about the future generations who will inherit these collections and continue the search for the rarest specimens, whether you hold a simple nickel or a rare mint state gem. Remember that, in the world of numismatics, every coin has a story, every scratch tells a tale, and every collector keeps the legacy alive. And so, as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Jefferson nickels, especially the emerging significance of the 2021 coins, remember to check your pocket change. Who knows what hidden treasures you might discover next? Thousands of dollars, you will never look at your spare change the same way again. Stay with me as we uncover the entire untold story of the 2014 Jefferson nickel, from the first spark of design to the striking of rare error coins that are changing the numismatic world forever. In the world of American coinage, the Jefferson nickel stands as a symbol of continuity and quiet evolution. Tracing its story takes us through the halls of the United States Mint, the minds of engravers, and the hands of collectors who never stop searching for that one piece that makes history. The 2014 Jefferson nickel might seem ordinary to the untrained eye, but it carries a legacy that reaches back to the 1930s, when the Buffalo nickel was replaced after 30 years of use. The Buffalo nickel, which itself had been a radical design, showcasing a Native American profile and an American bison, had become difficult to strike clearly. over time leading to calls for a new design. In 1938, a competition was held, and Felix Schlag, an immigrant sculptor, submitted the winning design, featuring President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home Monticello on the reverse. This marked the beginning of the Jefferson nickel era, spanning decades through wars, economic upheavals, and changes in minting technology. Fast forward to the early 2000s, when the Westward Journey nickel series was launched to commemorate the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition. This brought temporary design changes to the reverse side, which thrilled collectors and sparked renewed interest in Jefferson nickels. However, by 2006, the nickel returned to its classic Monticello design, but with a modernized forward-facing portrait of Jefferson by Jamie Franke, who brought a lifelike perspective that connected modern engraving techniques with classic artistry. When we arrive at the 2014 mintage, the stage was set for a quiet yet significant year for nickel collectors. The 2014 Jefferson nickel was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with each mint mark carrying its own significance. The Philadelphia Mint, with its P-Mint mark, produced the highest numbers, but within those millions lie subtle die varieties and striking errors that make all the difference for collectors' die. Clashes, off-center strikes, and double dies are the holy grail for nickel hunters. In this year, sharp-eyed collectors have discovered doubled Monticello letters, repunched mint marks, and even the rare full steps designation, a detail referring to the number of visible steps on Monticello that can turn an ordinary coin into a highly prized specimen. The full steps distinction is no small matter. On a nickel, weak strikes and worn dies often blur the steps. So when a coin shows a crisp, clear staircase on Monticello, collectors pay premium prices. The professional coin grading service PCGS and the numismatic guarantee company NGC regularly certify these coins, and the price jumps dramatically for a full steps specimen in top condition. The San Francisco Mint produced proof coins for collectors, struck with specially polished dies and handled with extra care. These coins have a mirror-like finish and frosted details, creating a cameo effect. They are never meant for circulation, but sometimes they find their way into pocket change through mishandling or theft, giving sharp-eyed collectors an unexpected treasure hunting moment. The 2014 proof nickels also include silver versions as part of special mint sets, which add another layer to their appeal. To understand the market value, you must study auction records, private sales, and grading reports in recent years. Top grade 2014 Jefferson nickels with full steps have sold for hundreds or even thousands, depending on their condition errors. And demand. One notable example includes a 2014 P. Jefferson nickel with a dramatic die clash that fetched a surprising premium because error collectors seek these anomalies to complete their specialized sets. Beyond the technical aspects, the Jefferson nickel holds cultural and educational significance. Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, and a champion of democratic ideals, is immortalized in this coin. His legacy reflects America's complex history of freedom, innovation, and contradiction. Owning a 2014 Jefferson nickel is like holding a small piece of that living history. Some collectors choose to build complete date and mint mark sets starting from 1938 to the present, adding proofs, varieties, and errors along the way. The 2014 issue often fills a critical gap in modern sets, as its die varieties and condition rarities keep collectors engaged in the hunt coin roll. Hunting is one of the most popular ways to search for these valuable nickels. Enthusiasts pick up bank rolls, inspect each coin under magnification, and hope to spot a mint-era repunched mark or that elusive full steps example. Stories abound in the numismatic community of lucky hunters who find rare pieces in circulation, turning a 50-cent nickel into a $1,000 collectible. There is a deeper truth to this hobby, too. It teaches patience, attention to detail, and an appreciation for the art and science behind coin minting. The dies that strike these coins endure tremendous pressure and heat, often wearing down or cracking. under stress resulting in the fascinating varieties we chase today as technology advances, laser scanning. Dye production and digital sculpting have made modern coins more precise, yet errors still slip through, reminding us that the human element remains at the heart of minting. Some collectors worry that modern nickels like the 2014 will never match the romance of classic coins like the Buffalo or early Jeffersons. Yet these coins already tell a story of a nation in transition, of design revival, and of the enduring appeal of pocket change that just might hold a hidden treasure. So next time you see a 2014 Jefferson nickel, look closely. Study the steps, inspect the mint mark, and check for doubling. Because in the quietest corners of the coin world, these modern nickels may yet surprise you. We will now dive deeper into each mint. The Philadelphia Mint's massive production numbers, the Denver Mint's sharp strikes, and the San Francisco Mint's dazzling proofs. We will look at grading criteria, how to spot full steps, the best storage methods to preserve your nickels, and how to navigate the market. Whether buying or selling along the way, you will hear stories from veteran collectors, tips from professional graders, and insights into what makes a seemingly common coin an extraordinary find. By the end of this journey, you will understand why the Jefferson nickel, especially the 2014 issue, remains a cornerstone of American numismatics. Its value is not just monetary, it is historical, artistic, and cultural. Join me for this deep dive into the 2014 Jefferson nickel and discover the hidden wealth in America's change drawer, because sometimes a 5-cent coin is worth far more than its face value, and the adventure of the hunt is priceless. And the real value behind the Jefferson nickels minted in the year 2000. And by the end, you will never look at your spare change the same way again. In the vast and fascinating history of American coinage, the Jefferson nickel holds a special place since its introduction in 1938. The Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and showcased the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse side designed by Felix Schlegel. This coin has seen decades of circulation. Countless millions have passed through the hands of Americans every single day. But what makes the year 2000 Jefferson nickels stand out? And why should collectors keep a keen eye on this seemingly common coin? To understand this, we need to go back to the late 1990s when the United States Mint was ramping up production for the new millennium. In 2000, the U.S. Mint struck Jefferson nickels at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and these coins bear the mint marks P and D respectively. While the basic design remained unchanged, the conditions at the mints, the quality control processes, and the sheer volume of coins produced all played a role in creating interesting varieties and errors that are highly sought after by collectors today. When you examine a 2000 Jefferson nickel, you should first look at its condition, known in numismatic terms as the grade. Coins are graded from poor to perfect mint state, with MS60 to MS70 representing uncirculated coins. A 2000 Jefferson nickel in MS67 or higher is quite rare and can command a premium at auction. Because the higher the grade, the fewer the coins that survive without bag marks, scratches, or other signs of wear. The Philadelphia Mint in 2000 produced over 940 million Jefferson nickels, while the Denver Mint struck more than 1 billion. That sheer mintage number makes people assume these coins are worthless in circulated condition. However, it is the errors and varieties that make them valuable. For example, one of the most famous types of errors is the off-center strike, where the die strikes the coin slightly off its normal position, resulting in a crescent shape of blank planche, showing on one side a dramatic off-center Jefferson nickel from 2000, with a large percentage of the design missing but still showing a full date, and mint mark can fetch hundreds of dollars, depending on the degree of the error. Another intriguing variety is the double die, where the die used to strike the coin has a slight misalignment that results in a doubling of certain design elements on the coin. Collectors have found examples of 2000 Jefferson nickels with doubling on the obverse, especially around Jefferson's eye, and the word Liberty. This doubling creates a shadow-like effect that is easily visible under magnification and can increase the coin's value significantly. Yet another factor to consider is the full steps designation. This is one of the most important features for Jefferson nickel. Collectors on the reverse of the coin. The image of Monticello Jefferson's home shows a series of steps leading up to the entrance. A well-struck nickel will show all 5 or 6 steps clearly and completely without major marks or weak strikes. Coins with fully visible steps known as full steps, or FS, are far more valuable than those without, because they represent the highest level of detail and quality from the mint. Finding a 2000 Jefferson nickel with full steps in a high, mint state grade is challenging because during this period the dies were often overused, leading to mushy details and weak strikes. Coins with sharp full steps. Details from the year 2000 have been sold for significant premiums, sometimes hundreds of dollars more than their non-full step counterparts. Many people overlook the fact that there are also special collector versions of the Jefferson nickel. In 2000, the United States Mint offered proof sets struck at the San Francisco Mint with the S Mint mark. These coins were produced using specially polished dies and planchets, resulting in a mirror-like finish and frosted design elements. Proof coins are highly collectible, especially in perfect condition. A 2000 S Jefferson nickel graded PR70. Deep Cameo is a prized addition to any collection and can fetch good money depending on demand. Aside from the coins themselves, the context of the era adds to their allure. The year 2000 marked the dawn of a new century, the turn of the millennium, and the U.S. Mint was experimenting with technological improvements in die making and striking processes. This transitional period sometimes led to interesting anomalies, which only add to the excitement for error and variety. The Jefferson nickel itself has an interesting design history. The obverse portrays Thomas Jefferson facing left with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust and Liberty," along with the year. The reverse shows his famous Virginia estate, Monticello, with United States of America, 5 cents, and A Pluribus Unum inscribed. These classical design elements have remained largely unchanged since Felix Schlag won the original design competition, but they hold subtle variations that collectors spend lifetimes studying. Another fascinating aspect of the 2000 Jefferson nickels is their role in the modern coin collecting community. They serve as a gateway coin for beginners because they are easy to find, affordable in circulated condition, yet hold the potential for hidden gems. This balance of accessibility and hidden rarity is what makes them so compelling to study and collect. Today, seasoned collectors search rolls of bank-wrapped nickels hunting for high-grade full steps. Examples or dramatic mint errors. They know that a small investment in time and patience can sometimes uncover coins worth far more than face value. One famous story is of a collector who found a dramatic off-center 2000 P Jefferson nickel in circulation. It was perfectly struck with over 50% off-center, yet retained a full date and mint mark. This rare find sold for several $100s at auction, and stories like these fuel the dreams of roll hunters across America. The Jefferson nickel series also has an educational aspect. It teaches new collectors about die varieties, planchet, preparation, striking errors, and the importance of coin grading. When you examine the steps of Monticello with a magnifying glass or hunt for doubled dies, you gain a deeper appreciation for the minting process and the craftsmanship involved. Every 2000 Jefferson nickel carries with it the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, his ideals, and his vision for America. It represents the continuity of American coinage traditions, while also offering the thrill of the hunt for something rare and valuable. In the coming years, as more collectors focus on modern coins, the interest in high grade and error, Jefferson nickels from the year 2000 will likely continue to grow. This makes it the perfect time to educate yourself, inspect your pocket change, and perhaps start your own collection. Who knows, you might be holding a small fortune disguised as an ordinary nickel in your hand right now. So the next time you see a 2000 Jefferson nickel, do not pass it by. Take a closer Examine it under good light check for mint marks, doubling off-center strikes, and especially those full steps, because hidden within these everyday coins are treasures that connect you to American history and the timeless passion of coin collecting. And that is why the Jefferson nickels from the year 2000 deserve a place of honor in your collection, and why they continue to fascinate numismatists young and old across the country. These elusive pieces, some with doubled dies, some with rare mint marks, some with tales that stretch back through American history to the heart of the Eisenhower era, stick around, because today we dive deep into the untold saga of the 1955 Jefferson nickel, from its design to its rarest varieties to the legendary finds that have shocked collectors and changed lives forever. In the vast and intricate tapestry of American coinage, few coins hold such a quiet mystique as the Jefferson nickel, minted in 1955. For many people, a nickel is just a nickel. Yet numismatists know that this year hides a story woven with historical events, minting challenges, political shifts, and collector surprises. The 1955 Jefferson nickel sits at a crossroads in mid-century America when the United States was stepping confidently into its role as a post-war superpower. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. The interstate highway system was about to change the landscape of the nation, and rock and roll was shaking up culture. But while teenagers twisted and turned to the sound of Elvis Presley at the United States Mint in Philadelphia, and Denver machines were clanking away, producing millions of these nickels designed by Felix Schlag back in 1938. The Jefferson nickel had replaced the beloved Buffalo nickel, a bold move at the time, since the Buffalo nickel itself was cherished for its rugged frontier symbolism. Schlag's design, with the dignified profile of Thomas Jefferson and Monticello on the reverse, offered a more neoclassical look, tying into the renewed respect for America's founding fathers during the mid-century period. The 1955 issue, however, came with quirks and peculiarities that would intrigue generations of coin hunters. The Philadelphia Mint produced just over 7 million nickels that year, one of the lowest mintages for Jefferson nickels. This fact alone makes any 1955 Philadelphia nickel worth examining, but the real treasure comes with the doubled die variety. These coins show a doubling of the letters and numbers, most notably on the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word "Liberty." This doubling happened during the hubbing process, when dies were impressed incorrectly, resulting in a fascinating optical doubling that collectors crave. The 1955 doubled die Jefferson nickel is nowhere near as famous as the 1955 doubled die Lincoln cent, but in the tight-knit community of nickel collectors, it is a prized find. The Denver Mint that year produced a higher number of nickels. Yet even among these, you can find sharp strikes, weak strikes, and sometimes off-center errors. The Denver issues are marked with the small D mint mark on the reverse beside Monticello. But even so, no major varieties emerged from Denver that year. So the spotlight remains on Philadelphia, and its doubled die story. Collectors have been fascinated by how these errors slipped through quality control during the 1950s, when mint technology was advancing, yet still relied on careful human oversight. Sometimes overworked mint workers missed these doubled dies, and so a small batch entered circulation. Imagine being one of those people in the mid-50s getting a nickel for your soda pop or your newspaper, never realizing that decades later that same coin might be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The hunt for these coins has taken on a near-legendary status. Estate sales, flea markets, old piggy banks all become potential treasure troves. When it comes to the 1955 Jefferson nickel, collectors often debate the grading of these coins. Because the strike quality can vary, many are softly struck at the steps of Monticello, which is a critical area for grading. Jefferson nickels coins with sharp full steps are rarer and command higher premiums. This is especially true for the 1955 issue because the low mintage combined with poor strikes means that finding a full steps example is a collector's dream. As the decades rolled on, the Jefferson nickel quietly continued its run until 2004, when the Westward Journey series, brought new designs and later the return to Monticello in 2006, yet the classic pre-2004 design holds a timeless appeal. The 1955 nickel captures a snapshot of America during the Cold War, when Americans worried about the arms race Sputnik was about to launch, and families gathered around black and white television's coins from this era hold an intangible sense of nostalgia for the simpler yet turbulent times beyond its historical context. The 1955 nickel also teaches valuable lessons about numismatics. It shows how tiny imperfections create huge intrigue, how human error becomes a collector's delight, and how something as common as a nickel can become an object of fascination when studied carefully. Coin clubs across America often highlight the 1955 nickel during meetings with old-timers, sharing tales of lucky finds kids, dreaming of discovering that rare doubled die and seasoned graders. Debating tiny details under magnification, auction houses have seen fine specimens of the 1955 doubled die nickel fetch impressive prices, especially those in mint state with full steps. Every auction brings new records as demand grows. Scarcity plus condition equals value, and so the hunt goes on. The modern collector uses online databases, coin shows, and grading services to find and verify these coins. Authentication is critical because with any valuable error, there come counterfeits, thankfully. Reputable grading companies like PCGS and NGC help protect buyers by encapsulating these coins with official certification. The legacy of the 1955 Jefferson nickel also intersects with the broader story of Felix Schlegg, the designer whose initials FS now appear on modern nickels, yet did not grace the coin until much later. Schlegg was an immigrant from Germany, whose work reflects the American dream. He submitted his original design in a public competition, winning the chance to put Jefferson's likeness in the pockets of millions. His story reminds us that behind every coin, there is an artist, a team of engravers, and a mint staff all playing their part in creating history. Fast forward to today, collectors often wonder where the next discovery will come from. Could there still be an uncirculated roll sitting in an attic? Maybe an overlooked jar of nickels passed down through generations? Maybe one more doubled die, waiting to make headlines? Such dreams fuel the passion of numismatists young and old and keep the legend alive of the 1955 Jefferson nickel, a coin that was just ordinary pocket change for millions in 1955, yet now stands as a testament to the thrill of the hunt, the power of patience, and the enduring mystery hidden within America's humble 5-cent piece. So next time you see an old nickel in your change jar, look closer. Check the date, examine the motto, inspect the steps on Monticello, because you might just be holding a piece of American history, a tiny sliver of metal that links the past to the present, and might just change your future forever.